That is so cool. Take my money. Generic controlling that goes me. We're back with another Scott the Waz here. Today we're doing special edition controllers, which last week we did third-party controllers and we also did game controllers. Now we're doing special edition controllers. Let's go ahead and jump on into it.
Hey y'all, Scott here. I bought new clothes.
Oh,
That's why
nice.
they always call me New Clothes Scott. I love designs like
I've
this
always
so
called you
much.
that.
I should go as far as possible with that love.
What kind of tattoo you want? Plaid.
Ugh.
Could have just gotten the Xbox controller.
It's a
Ugh.
brand new day. I wake up and what do
I
do?
actually
I buy
just
more useless trash.
bought
I run out of
this
money. I'm
yesterday.
just selling
Haven't
another
used it
kitty. I don't
yet.
care. Look, I bought another rice cooker for the collection. That's a core problem when it comes to your everyday video game player. We end up buying a lot of stuff we don't
Yeah, for the
really
Switch 2.
need. Let me try.
Because this has a headphone jack.
Damn it, I need two. They're obviously products we all want, but don't really need.
Also,
However,
birthday stream next
video
Thursday?
games brings us
Yeah,
entertaining
should be playing
experiences
Switch 2
we
games.
wouldn't have had otherwise.
Like
But we
Jamboree
all
for
have
the
those
first
things
time.
we really don't need, but sort of
Chicharito
kinda want
and
anyways,
Messi.
and game companies know this. That's why they all say, grab the paint, Scott's a moron. I'm not as ashamed as I want it to be. These special editions products
I mean, the
have
gold
a
is
special little
pretty
paint job
awesome.
that makes you squirm at the
Oh,
thought
yeah,
of
I
not
guess I
owning
could play
it.
Zelda
Even
for
if
the
you
first
have
time,
the
too.
standard edition of a game console already and it works perfectly fine, you even think it already looks nice and sleek and all that, just when a glacier white PlayStation 4 gets announced, yeah, alright, where do I sign? Special edition
Why?
game systems
Oh,
has
whoa, that's
puzzled me
cool.
because in many cases, these special editions appeal to
Oh,
hardcore
what?
fans who already own the console.
I didn't know
so
they
have
did
to
that for the
buy a
Switch.
completely new one just for a different paint job.
Never played
It's
Animal
a lot to
Crossing.
go through. Which is why I think special edition
kinda
controllers
cool.
are where it's at. The controllers are the
Dude,
kind of things
I
you
had a
usually buy
custom
multiples
controller
of for your system.
for my
So, hey,
360.
why not pick up the special ones? You can never have enough of this. But here's the thing, controllers are absolutely abused.
Mine
These
aren't.
are put through so much. And if
Mine
you play games,
last
you know
me
you're prone to some
forever.
thungers. To buy a controller based on its looks alone and with it only being available for a limited time, I almost don't want to use it. I know if I do, it's more susceptible to wear and tear, and if it breaks down, I don't want to buy another one. By the time I have to do that,
Who's
it's going to be 10 times more
breaking
expensive
controllers?
online. Have you seen the Cheeto market? People pay top dollar for special trash. Imagine how much I have to pay for a new Halo Reach controller. Who chews on thumbsticks?
That's not that
Special
good of a
edition
controller.
controllers. They're always a joy to see. Plus, you can usually warn picking these up because you can never have too many controllers. However,
True.
I never want anything to ever happen to these. They're too precious. That's why I don't have anybody over anymore.
Yeah, so I kind of have this weird thing where I have to lick every controller that I see. Donkey Kong!
Oh no,
I
don't.
usually buy something like this when it's either A, related to a game I like, or B, the design makes me swoon. I own a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 controller and have no interest in the game. I feel like I'm on a
I
list
mean, I
somewhere.
don't think
But
it's that
sometimes special edition
crazy.
controllers are more
That's
trouble
kinda
than they're
cool.
worth.
Yeah.
Again, that's why nobody's invited over here anymore. You have the one guy that notoriously doesn't bathe his fingers go, yeah, I'll take the gold one. Like, what the f? Don't do that to my controller.
Yeah.
But to truly appreciate special edition controllers
I
now,
mean,
we
I
have
have
to go back to when companies said, do it yourself. People
These
have been
Shaun White
customizing their
Oakleys
controllers ever
that I
since the dawn
got
of
in,
time,
like-
and if you want to reach a bit, we could consider decals to be the first instance of the special edition. I think a lot of people have seen these Nintendo powered decals
What year did I
for
turn
NES
15?
controllers. You'd get them with the magazine and just stick them onto your gamepad. These things have always been a thing,
2012?
still prevalent nowadays. These are the cheapest possible solution to give your controller some flair.
Oh,
the only one I
yeah.
technically have is the controller skin that came with the Sonic Forces bonus.
Wait, they
edition.
give you controller
Jumping
skins
Hazard?
with
God,
games?
I read that. But nobody likes talking
well.
sticky paper. Everybody wants to talk about controllers that come with paper pre-sticked. Special edition controllers really hit it
paint,
big
yeah.
during the Nintendo 64
I remember,
days.
like,
And not
control-
only were
custom
there multiple colors to choose
controller
from, but some
sponsors
fancy
for, like,
designs
trick
that were
shotting
definitely
clans?
harder to come by.
And
Some of
called
these were given
COD
away via
clans?
promotions
Yeah.
or sweepstakes
Toys
or
R Us.
specific catalogs within magazines like the Millennium 2000 controller or the Nintendo Power 100th issue gold one. However, one I own happens to be the Donkey Kong 64 controller. It was a special order item through Nintendo Power, not all too different compared to the standard
Oh,
yellow,
wow.
but it's hauling the tips with this one. They're bananas.
Oh,
This design makes me way more
okay.
okay with the standard controller layout. So
That's
that's what these
so
things were
cool.
supposed
They're
to be.
bananas.
Many
That's
look
nice.
towards the golden controllers
That's
for their
sick.
daily dose of dopamine. Nothing screams special edition more than crippling debt. So of course there was a gold Nintendo 64 controller, but there was an even golder asterisk controller that is way past rare. These ones were given away at a Star
Whoa.
Fox 64 tournament at Nintendo's E3 1997 booth and are pretty similar to the standard gold you could get in stores. However,
They
this one
had-
had a fancy Nintendo 64 logo on the front. I'd consider the Nintendo 64 to be where special controller variants were truly born. Sure, there were constant
Yeah.
revisions of the Sega Genesis controller, for example, but those primarily boiled down to red buttons, black buttons. With the
Ooh.
N64 offering 4 controller ports, that obviously meant more controllers were to be sold, so why
Yeah.
not sweeten the deal a bit with some designs only a mother could love. These weren't revisions,
Oh
rather
God,
they were
Mario
for
Party.
fans of the console and games. But at this time in gaming, special edition consoles were way more prevalent than just controllers.
I did the
Lucky if
special edition
controller included in the box got any love at all.
consoles, right?
The PS1 and Sega Saturn dabbled in this here and there, but we really had to take one giant leap of faith into the following generation where we can truly start to see some more special controllers make their debut. The Sega Dreamcast took some notes from the Nintendo 64. See, we have 4 controller ports. You know what that means. It's fucking blue! But the GameCube was where it's at for special variants.
GameCube.
It definitely wasn't on par with
Wait,
the
you could play
64,
DS
but we
games
have
on a
some interesting ones
GameCube?
here.
What?
What I happen to have is a controller you can only purchase via Club Nintendo
Luigi.
Japan. The Luigi controller. Oh god, I can't wait to see what it's like.
Is it green? With an L.
Who could have thought? Club Nintendo was home to some of the more
Oh,
sought-after
nice.
special editions for the console. We have a Mario, Wario, and standard Club Nintendo design, with the Mario design also being offered by Club Nintendo
They're
Europe.
just different
I
colors.
honestly think the most interesting thing
Why are
about
there
these are the
jeans?
boxes. Not only do I like
'Cause
the
the
official name
overalls?
being Luigi Controller, but they made sure to include denim. I know what you're thinking. I love the GameCube. There were a ton of other designs bundled with limited edition consoles, but what about controllers with special functions? Like, see, I enjoy this, but I just want more. I think I found another choking hazard. The keyboard controller is the white whale of my video game collecting career. I want it, but right around the
doesn't
time I
exist?
discovered it, it was pricey, no doubt, but
How
definitely
much?
obtainable. Now we've officially entered the year 2020, and damn it, there goes my 5th kidney. This was only available in
$500.
Japan and only for Phantasy
Oh.
Star Online, so you could communicate with other players quickly. Yes, this may have no use to me, but come on, who wouldn't want this? Scribes? Maybe Scribes. Of course, if
Who
we're
would
talking
want
limited
that?
special controllers during this era, there was of course the Resident Evil 4 controller.
Which is... Ooh.
Oh, that's nice. What the f***?
What?
No doubt one of the most notoriously bizarre controllers ever created, a chainsaw.
What?
Of course, one of the iconic enemies in RE4 was the Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Considering that he uses a chainsaw,
Great anime.
I don't see how immersive this controller really is.
That
but
is
bonus
so
points for bonus points are
cool!
good. It truly feels
Take my
like I'm
money.
playing a game with a chainsaw. This was also released for the PlayStation 2 and is definitely more of a product of Capcom's than Nintendo's or Sony's. Which that does bring up how third-party companies can definitely put out their own wacky editions, usually in cooperation with companies that specialize in this kind of trash.
Mad
Shadow
Cats.
the Hedgehog
Well,
PS2 controller, yeah, lines up the
have we done
start
game
for that one.
controllers,
Sony was never the
third-party
biggest into
controllers,
custom designs, and
limited
normally they'll
edition,
just do new colors,
and then we have
maybe
one
some
more to
special
do.
ones here and there. But this is one area where the Redmonders reign supreme. Of all these options, did you really think the publisher of Fusion Frenzy would put out the most controller variants? Now, the original Xbox, they were pretty humble. Here and there, we got a few, especially with special edition
That's
systems.
cool.
no
Yeah,
biggie.
it's
But
just
then,
clear because I was hyped.
the Xbox
Yeah.
360 came around.
Yep.
Is this a fucking joke?
Dude,
A lot of these
mine
are
had, like, a
relatively
gold
inexpensive,
sparkle, had my
considering
gamer
that the
tag
collectors
on
of
one
Xbox
side.
stuff
It was
are way more
so
endangered
cool.
comparative to Nintendo and PlayStation collectors.
It was a custom.
Darwinism is hilarious. But that never stopped Microsoft from putting out just a ton of special edition controllers, many of which were just that, controllers.
Well, you know how
could
much
buy them
money
separately from a
custom
console
controller
bundle or something.
places were
Here I
making?
have a Halo Reach controller and a Gears of War 3 controller. I do like the overall look of both of them. I think the Gears one has a better overall design, but I love the minimalistic take on Reach's variant. But about these
my
for
favorite
like
color
$10
is
a pop
gray, but
online.
what?
I got this one back in the 360's heyday with my own 14-year-old money. I like
Oh,
this
nice.
one. It's been my go-to 360 controller ever since. The material
How
used
often do you
feels
use that?
really premium, and the overall design being completely grayscale is sleek as all hell. The only problem is some games may tell you hit the yellow button, and now you know my colorblind hell. Funnily enough, Sony and Nintendo barely dived into the special controller market this generation. The Wii was basically just white for most of its life, and then by
Yeah.
the time people
It was
stopped
in
caring,
red.
that's when they added new colors, but none of these were particularly limited or special. I think the core special Wii remote most jumped to is the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Edition.
Which is
With
gold.
Zelda insignia.
Gold is cool.
It's a fine-looking controller, no doubt, but as one of the only special Wii remotes, But speaking of gold controllers,
P90,
only available
hey,
in special
that's
editions of
chambered in
GoldenEye 007 was a golden
5.7
classic
by
controller
28.
Pro. I love this thing. It's just gold, and I found it used at a GameStop back in the day. Again, I will reiterate, I love this thing. Now Sony, they had more specific game-based designs than
an
Nintendo,
okay
but
design.
at least the Wii Remote was a completely new design. You didn't necessarily have to spice it up with fun colors and shapes. The PlayStation 3 controller was derivative of this, which was derivative of this. I can keep going. Just didn't do
Yeah.
a ton with this thing outside of mostly colors, but that changed with the PlayStation 4. Look at all these. They really upped their game. We have Uncharted 4, the 20th anniversary of PlayStation. Piss. There are so many options now. Well, looks like Microsoft finally has some competition on their hands. This is fun hell. They even fixed my
Oh.
biggest problem with that silver controller.
Oh, yeah.
The colors displayed here. It's perfect. Even let you create your own custom controller
Oh, that is
colors
cool,
online
yeah.
now. They are fucking loony.
And they're not
this
that
is
expensive.
Proof, a controller that addresses the biggest gaming hurdle. See, I want to play Halo, but I just love no fork spaghetti. Now, what did Nintendo do
Why?
with the Wii U, the console with the most integral controller experience? Nothing. I mean, there was this Wind Waker one, which was only included in the console bundle. They never sold Wii U gamepad separately, but not even the Wii U Pro controllers got any special releases. All we got was white
That
and black
looks
colors,
weird.
but special Wii remotes and Wii U branded boxes were released.
That's
all
cool.
featuring designs based on the Mario cast. And yep, I have twins. I do feel like these character-specific Wii remotes are a bit more cool than the GameCube ones. Certain colors are used on certain parts to represent the character, like the bottom 1 and 2 buttons are brown for his shoes, the plus and minus buttons are yellow for his overall buttons, and the back is colored to his overalls in general. Other controller companies had similar ideas when making their own officially licensed Nintendo controllers. I have this Metal Mario Classic controller by PDP.
I like how he keeps the
These
packaging.
were primarily made for Smash Brothers for Wii U. It may not be a great controller, but it's not a good controller either. Design though is really cool, just with how shiny
Chrome.
and metallic it looks. It almost but doesn't make up for the lackluster feeling buttons.
It's
Probably
gonna
made
be
their own
so,
licensed GameCube-like
like,
controllers for
fingerprinty
Wii remotes during Smash Wii U
immediately.
Shine Time, which are far better, albeit not as good as the real deal. Which was alright, because Nintendo themselves reissued GameCube controllers for Smash Wii U's release, now with a Smash Ball on front. These are GameCube controllers alright, and Nintendo re-released them again for Smash Ultimate.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to hear anybody argue this design is better than the old one. And that brings us to the Nintendo Switch, where special edition
Just
controllers
Joy-Cons.
are way more prevalent.
Also, why did
Special
they sell
colored
just a
Joy-Cons
single
and Pro
Joy-Con
controllers
for
are
like
finally getting some love.
$54
As
or something?
previously stated, I have the Xenoblade Edition. I am terrible. But I also have the Smash Brothers one, which looks great.
Yeah,
you have the silver Smash
the
Ball
Switch
and
too.
white grips, and I can already see paint chipping off. Do you see my problem with special edition controllers? See, I really do
I
like
haven't
these
used it
controllers.
yet.
They
I don't
look great,
know
they look cool, but
the
controllers are meant
buttons
to be
do.
used, and I can't use these controllers without ever feeling
Feels nice.
guilty. They're too rare and valuable. On the other hand, special edition consoles look cool, but they also make much less sense to buy if you already have the console,
Yeah.
though the design will hold up for much longer. So, I've come to the conclusion that I won't buy anything ever.
Ah, no more bread.
I'm not doing it.
There hasn't been bread in my house in forever, actually. Like, there has not been a loaf of bread in my house in over a year, I want to say, maybe at this point. Oh, man. We've done game controllers, we've done third-party controllers, now we've done special edition controllers. I think next we need to do pro controls, and that's a 30-minute long video. Maybe that'll be next week's video, which will be live on July 3rd. Patrons get all the videos day early. Could not do this if it was not for these lovely people right down here and others that are not on the screen. But yeah, no, the July 3rd should be the birthday stream, I believe. And hopefully I'll be playing, you know, like Mario Party Jamboree. I'm not sure who I'm going to be playing with or how it's going to go. But we're going to try to do that and try to do all my birthday festivities the day after my birthday. Because, yeah, it's going to be a long day. It's gonna be a real long day. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to the next one. My Nintendo Switch 2 launch experience. I mean, I have a Switch 2 and I've only have the one game on it, and I've streamed with it once of me playing a little bit of Mario Kart. I didn't have audio, that's why I had to buy a Pro controller, because that's the only way I'll be able to hear audio, because, you know, streaming it, you know, it kind of sucks. So that way I'll be able to have audio go to my controller and also do the stream, so I'll be able to hear and stream will be able to hear. That's the only, it was either one or the other unless I got a Pro controller, so I had to get a Pro controller to go with the console so I could stream with it. So that's just lovely. And now I gotta pay crazy prices for games. And also Nintendo never discounts their games, apparently. I did not expect to see Pokemon Scarlet and Violet full price, and Jamboree and Superstars especially full price, Pokemon Sword and Shield full price. Did not expect that at all. I'm used to playing Xbox my entire life where they discount games. Apparently that's not the case, so that's gonna take some getting used to. But I'm new to the whole Nintendo console thing, really, because the last, I guess, the Wii, the Wii, before that the first DS, then before that the N64. Yeah. But this was interesting. Let me know if there's any special edition controllers he did not touch on, or anyone that you know of that he did not mention. I would love to hear about it, especially if they're cool looking. Please let me know. I read every single one in your comments. Leave them down below. But until next video, take care and keep the music.